your hometown television.
What a catch! Touchdown! What a catch!
GTV Sports on Adelphia presents Western New York High School football. Today, a New York State versus Ohio matchup as St. Joe's takes on Chardon from Ohio. Kevin Sylvester here along with Walter John Sears. And Walt, a big matchup for the St. Joe's Marauders coming up a loss last week. But they didn't only lose the game, they lost their top player, the Buffalo News Player of the Year, and HGTV Sports top underclassman Sandro DeAngelis is out for this game with a second-degree sprain of the left ankle.
Well, that's a huge loss. That's about as big a loss as a high school team anywhere in the United States could suffer. Sandro DeAngelis was an outstanding running back. He controlled the tempo of the game. He kept the football away from the other team with his bruising runs. Then he was a vicious linebacker all over the field, controlled the tempo of the game on defense. And if that's not enough, Kevin, he also did the place kicking and the punting for this team, and he's going to Nebraska on scholarship for that, and maybe he'll get a chance at other positions. So it is a huge loss, and I don't know if they can overcome it this year.
Well, what will be the keys for them to overcome that loss of Sandro DeAngelis?
Well, first off, they have to step up, and by stepping up, that means everyone else on the team has to pick up their game a notch and get production out of that running back spot, and everyone has to play better. And second, they have to play good defense. By good defense, Kevin, we mean they have to tackle a little bit better than they did last week in that big loss to Cathedral Prep. And the third stat for the St. Joe's team is to move the football and keep it away from this fine Chardon team. Chardon's a little young, but they're dangerous. They're a good football team. And St. Joe's really has to step up at all spots.
Well, Walt, we don't know much about the Chardon Hilltoppers, so we found somebody who does. He's Mr. John Walsh here, who announces their games in Ohio. And, John, what can you tell us about this Hilltopper team?
Well, like it was mentioned before by Walter, it's a young team, but it's a team that's learning on the field. They're getting better by the week. They're still making young people mistakes, but those are being corrected. They're perennial state power in Ohio. They've been to the playoffs the last 6 years in a row, state champs and runner-ups in that 6-year span there. So they're always there. They're just going through a growing year right now. But like I said, they're a dangerous team. They'll play solid 4 quarters for you. They should put on a good show tonight, and I think they can match up well with the St. Joseph squad.
All right, and John's going to be with us all day long here to help bring this game to you. So stick around. When we come back, we will have the starting lineups and the kickoff from St. Joe's Collegiate. The Marauders and Hilltoppers up next in Adelphia's HGTV Sports. We're back here at St. Joe's Collegiate. We're set for the coin toss. Let's go down to referee Al DeRazio.
Okay, gentlemen, Chardon, welcome to Western New York. If you captains want to introduce yourself and the coaches introduce yourselves. Okay, guys, the referee, I'm Al DeRazio, the referee. The fellow official, the spot judge is Tony Cipolla. Kevin Dale's the line judge. Pat Dempsey's the linesman. And Brian Mayday's my umpire. In New York State, the referee reads a sportsmanship passage to both teams at every game. I'm here today to do that. I'll read that, and here we go. The New York State Public High School Athletic Association requires us as officials to enforce all sportsmanship rules regarding coaches and athletes as well. We're not going to tolerate any negative statements or actions. especially trash talking, taunting or baiting of opponents, or anything of that manner. If such actions are heard or seen, a penalty will be assessed immediately. There's no warning in the game, guys. This is it. This is your warning. No unsportsmanlike conduct, no showing off, pouncing on a guy, fingers in the face. It's not allowed here, okay? And let this thing work well today. I would like to mention one more thing, okay? Any racial or ethnic slurs, automatic ejection, and it's a 15-yard penalty. I hope everyone heard me now. Racial or ethnic slurs, 15 yards, and you're ejected from the game, okay? Let today's context reflect mutual respect, and at this time I'll dismiss everyone but the captains. Okay, guys, you got to move back just a little smidgen, okay? Visiting team. Tails, heads. Who's going to talk? I'll toss the coin. If I drop it, I'll toss it again. You call it while it's in the air, okay? You call it, son. He calls it tail, and it's a head. A head. St. Joe wins a toss. Kickoff, receive, defend the goal, or defer your choice to the second half. You choose to defer.
So they're deferring. We take the ball.
Your choice for the first half, kickoff, receive, or defend the goal. You're going to receive. Now you must kick, gentlemen. Your choice of goals to defend. Back to that goal. Back to this goal. Chardon's choice for the first half. They choose to receive. Come on in here real quick, okay? I hope I don't have any problems with any of your players. If I do, I'd like for you to handle them rather than me, okay? And if I do have a problem, I'm going to come to you. Let's shake hands and have a good game.
Referee Al Durazio overseeing the pregame proceedings with both teams, of course. Chardon, this is new to them, not playing there. Let's go to Bob O'Connor's coach's files for St. Joe's Marauders. His hometown in Williamsville. You see football and track here at St. Joe's. Went to Niagara University and played football there. MVP is a freshman and sophomore game. Continuing on with Bob O'Connor, 3 years at Newman, JV and varsity. 6 years at St. Joe's, and you see his record there and his philosophy, keep the game simple, and he does that, and he's one of the finer coaches in Western New York. There's the head coach for the Hilltoppers, Bob Doyle, and John Walsh was looking to tell us about Mr. Doyle.
Well, I believe he's in his 21st year at Chardon. He took over a program that was way down, you know, like almost rarely getting a win, build it up to, you know, the state level of competition. He's done a tremendous job at Chardon.
That's John Walsh. You'll be hearing him throughout the game. He's our guest announcer from Chardon, and of course Walter John Sears with me once again as St. Joe's will kick off. They won the coin toss, but they elected to defer to the second half, so Chardon's choice, and they elect to receive the football. And back to receive, Landstrom back there along with Tyler Turner to receive for the Chardon Hilltoppers. Kicking off for St. Joe's, it's normally Sandro DeAngelis, but today Zach Whiting will do the honors.
And Kevin, it's safe to say beautiful weather, the field in excellent shape, and it should be a very entertaining ball game.
Perfect fall day here. Here's the kickoff. Turner has it at the 10. Out across the 20. High at the middle. Fumble on the play, and St. Joe's recovers at the 33-yard line. And come up with number 22, Travis Aronica.
Well, we're going to take a look at the replay and see who makes the stick. Here's the return. Pretty good return. It looked like he's going to bust it through there. Somebody gets a hand in on a football, pokes it away there, as you can see. And there's the recovery by Aronica.
I think it was Seth Eberlin who knocked it loose. We'll look at the St. Joe's offense. The quarterback for St. Joe's, Greg Rowland, number 17. He'll be guiding the offense.
And, you know, he's a strong-arm quarterback, Kevin. He's a good 200-pound kid. He's 9 for 18 on the year. He's got one touchdown and one interception.
St. Joe's in the offset eye. The handoff to the tailback. And gets a couple yards on the play. That's Jamie Garcia.
Run by number 28, Jamie Garcia.
Look at the starting offense here for the St. Joe's Marauders. Up front on the line, the anchor, Josh Schaus. Left tackle, Justin Baumler. Max Bickler is the left guard. Naati Akiola is the right guard. Anthony Vinci is the right tackle. The The receivers there, Greg Simone and tight end Mike Capozzi, Doug Green, and Mike Broderick are going to be your receivers. You'll see Broderick at tight end also. Then Greg Rowland, the quarterback, Joe Butler, and Jamie Garcia in the backfield.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a wicked hit there by Kevin Neal, assisted by John Landstrom. They hit hard on that first play.
And it's going to be a keeper by the quarterback. And it's open. You're right, he's gone inside the 10-yard line. He's brought down at the 6-yard line. Rowland on that carry as they take advantage of the misdirection. They go outside that Chardon defense. And, John, that defense this year, how have they been playing?
They haven't been playing as well as ones in the past. Again, it's a function of youth, I believe. That time they kind of got sucked in on the play action just a little bit, and he found that whole lane wide open for him.
Well, what he did is he just bootlegged and went to the right side. Everybody bet on the fake guys, and Rowland, he's a big quarterback, too, at 195. He even looks bigger.
And he looked fairly mobile on that one as well.
He's a pretty good athlete.
Full house back to Akiola in at fullback, and the handoff to Garcia. And he goes, no, let's tell you that defensive front for the Hilltoppers normally in there. They play a 4-3. Chris Eloff is at one end, but as John told us before the game, they move them all around. Eloff, Desikevich, Chua, and Kaplan are up front, the defensive tackle positions. The linebackers are Brian Smith, Kevin Neal, Dan Painter, and the secondary, Matt Gilson and Eric Smith, the cornerbacks. John Landstrom and Dan Merritt are the safeties for the Hilltoppers. And there's a look at Brian Smith, one of the linebackers for the Hilltoppers, and on that stop.
Yeah, he's one of the forces out there, one of the leader captain seniors. There's very few seniors out there in that field.
Rowland's going to pass the football. Throws inside, tipped up, intercepted. Landstrom come down in the end zone.
Well, John Landstrom, the ball was tipped. They were at the 5-yard line. It looked like they were going to go in John Walsh, and that's a big, big turnover for this young Chardon team because they need a win desperately at 1-3.
Oh, especially, yeah. They're still looking at the playoffs. It's a different system up there. It's a computerized base based on the competition you play against. They think they still can make it. They got to start today if they have any hopes of being in the playoffs come November time.
That was the old tip drill. As you see Landstrom switching over to offense. We'll get the St. Joe's defense and that Chardon offense to you in a moment. Well, we'll tell you the quarterback right now for Chardon is Kyle Peck. He wears number 11. There's a look at him about to get the signal in on the sideline. So they're on 3 backs in the backfield. Luke Chua, number 4. John Landstrom, number 45. Brian Smith, number 20. At tight end, number 32, Chris Eloff. Split ends, you'll see 3 of them. Nick Chilsonkowski, 43. Pat McCall, number 5. And number 2, Dan Rodriguez. We'll get the line coming up after this play for you. They'll see that wing. And looks like the quarterback's going to keep this time. Pack, and he runs for first down yardage. Out across the 30-yard line. Let's look at that St. Joe's defense. And we look up front on the defensive line. You see the end there, Justin Palmer and Anthony Vinci at the tackle position along with Max Bickler and Nati Akiola, the other end position. Your linebackers, Joe Butler, Aaron Sanders, Mike Hobach. And your defensive backs, Greg Simonian, Mike Capozzi, Greg Malone, who also plays quarterback, and Mike Smith. Second down play. Hand off to one of the backs. This is Brian Smith. And he picks up a couple yards on the play. We'll give him 2 out to the 32-yard line.
Good stop by Joe Butler, as you see there, number 32. Tell us a little bit about this offense, John. They run a Delaware wing T. It's a lot of misdirection, a lot of deception involved.
Yeah, there's a lot of countering on this offense, and there's just a lot of good ball handling and deception. The option outside being one of their key plays. This Chardon team, you're not going to see that ball put in the air a lot, but when it is, it's almost a surprise play because they're not looking for him to pass.
And it's going to be a false start. Ben Desikevich here to start a little early on the play.
It looked like Ben Desikevich, 6'3", 235, a senior on the encroachment. So that will set him back.
Yeah, he's
Fast start on the offense. Second down.
Here, we're going to take a look at it here, guys, and just watch 51 lift up.
Yeah, Ben's just getting back. He came back last month. He was out for a couple games there with a turned ankle. He's probably at 90%, 95%, so he's just getting back. It's a new season for him.
Big time. Bring a 50.
Motion on the play, and they hand off to the inside man, Landstrom. And last man to grab him there was number 10, Doug Green, who's into the game for Mike Capozzi, who had to come out for an injury. That's a touchdown-saving tackle.
Well, it is. Watch this. He busts this open. I'm surprised that Green is able to make the play. It looks like Landstrom's going to go all the way. He's listed at 187, but John Welsh says he's not that big, and that was a potential touchdown.
Yeah, it was very much so. I'll tell you, this wing T offense, I don't know if it's very much in the New York State, but Chardon was one of the first in Ohio to do it. Now everybody's converting over. It's become like the offensive choice in Northeast Ohio.
There's a couple teams that do run a double wing offense. Orchard Park ran it well a couple years ago on to their sectional title. This is a handoff to the fullback, Lucian Pruzinski. And we give him 3 yards on that carry.
Well, it's an offense that's tough to read because you never know where the ball's at. In fact, our camera people are going to really have to be on their game here, Kevin and John, to pick up who's got the ball. Great deception. If you've got a quarterback, now tell us, can Kyle Peck handle this offense? He's a senior, so I'm sure he's used to it.
Well, this is his first year at starting at the quarterback position. He's been working at it on the JV level and all for a couple years now, but this is the first time it's his team, and so far he's just improving week by week, Wyatt, but there's been some ball-handling magicians in that quarterback spot for Chardon.
And Peck hangs up that time, and he gets hit immediately, though. It looked like Akiola who made the tackle. It's almost a controlled form of the option.
Oh, very much so. You know, it definitely is geared, and it's geared on not necessarily the handling of the quarterback, but it's also the backs carrying out their fakes as well that sells it down the road.
Well, you saw that. There's almost 3 options on that play. He faked to Pruzinski, the fullback, and then he could have pitched it to running back. Instead, he kept it himself and still gained a couple yards.
3rd down and 5. See St. Joe shifting their defensive front, and a flag on the play, and that's in the area of a false movement along the offensive front.
It's a funny game, Kevin and John, because you don't know who caught who where.
False start, offense.
Chardon was the state. Let's take a look at this again. Chardon was the state runner-up last year. They were 12-0 before losing their last game by 7 points.
I saw on the right side, it looked like somebody picked up just a hair. It was just a slight movement, but any kind of a movement is a penalty.
Well, there's Kyle Kaplan there, possibly him, but nonetheless, it's 3rd down and 10. The ball is moved back to the 41-yard line. Smith, the motion man. Peck going to his right to pass. Gets it away under pressure, but a nice tackle made by Green as the pass was completed to Chris Eloff, the tight end, but he only gains about 4 yards in that play. That'll bring him 4th down.
Well, good-looking pass by Peck. Good reception. Let's take a look at the pressure and a great series for Doug Green. First, we're going to take a look at the pressure on the quarterback, Kyle Peck. Peck is going to get it away here, John, and make the completion. Ask his back to do the rest, but a good stop by Doug Green.
Yeah, his protection was pretty good up front. He did the fake inside, drove him in a little bit, and then went out at his lead blocking back. Looks like both these offenses are going to be able to move the ball today. It should be a fun game to watch.
Eloff's punt is going to be touched by Brian Smith at the 26-yard line. He's going to bounce even more back away, and I think he realized that he didn't want to hit that one. Now, Eloff is not their normal punter, is he, John?
No, Chris Eloff is their normal punter. It's the place kickers that are a little.
Changed.
They have soccer style, and I'm assuming there's a soccer game going on somewhere in the Chardon area today. That's their top priority. That's who they're playing with.
You know, I was going to mention, I don't know who's drawing the better assignment here because St. Joe's had a great team last year. They're not the team they were last year, and with the Angeles out there, certainly not the team. And Chardon certainly is not the team, John, that they were last year when they almost won the state championship, or even the playoff team that they've been the last 6 years because they're 6 years, so they're very young. So both of these teams really need this game.
Yeah, like I said, I think they're going to match up very, very well. And so far, what we've seen, they've done an excellent job of going against each other, moving the ball pretty well.
Well, 1st down for St. Joe's is carried by Gar. Just let me know when we're coming back.
Chardon will start 1st down and 10.
Sir? What happened? Generator.
And we are back here on HGTV Sports. You didn't leave us. We did due to a technical difficulty, but we've got that figured out, our crack staff, and we're back with you. St. Joe's went 3 and out, punted the football, and Chardon has the football back at their own 35-yard line. Just to kind of recap what's happened so far in this football game, St. Joe's recovered a fumble on the opening kickoff, took it down to the 5-yard line, but interception by John Landstrom of Chardon got the football back for the Hilltoppers, and we stand 0-0 with 4:50 to play in the first quarter. 2nd down and 10 for the Hilltoppers. That's Landstrom, the man in motion. They hand off to the running back, I believe is Chua on that carry.
I think it was Lucian.
Oh, Lucian Krasinski. They change him so often in that backfield.
Yes, they do rotate.
You know, I'll tell you, there's a strange series here, John Walsh, because Peck on first down had a guy wide open down the field and missed him, overshot him, and then on 2nd and 10, you would think pass, then they run, so they're sort of going backwards here.
Yeah, I think it was an element of surprise. He tried to pick long, deep pass to Nick Chilsikowski. Unfortunately, he just got a little bit too much air underneath it, overthrew him, but he, like you mentioned there, Walter, he was wide open on that one.
It was a good call on first down. The quarterback just missed him.
3rd and 10. One receiver all the way to the outside, and they had this time again, and that's Krasinski on that carry, and didn't fool him.
Run by number 6, Lucian
Becky Early on the stop there, stood him right up, and then got some help to go with that straight dive play, and it's not working at this point. They had a good first series there, John, but the second series here for your team, Chardon, they sort of backed down a little bit.
Actually, it was the first series for both teams. The offense seemed like they were going to dominate the game. Then all of a sudden, these last two, it's flip-flopped, and it's become a defensive-based game. Again, the matchup, though, is very, very good. I think we're in store for a great football game today.
Eloff's second punt of the game. This one a little bit better, and be taken by Green, and he's tackled immediately by Landstrom, who's been all over the field today. That ball's going to be marked at the 37-yard line for St. Joe's 3rd possession.
And that was a great tackle by John Landstrom, and I'll tell you what, I don't know if we'll see the replay, but Green made a very aggressive catch and run on the punt return, and he was stopped after maybe only a yard. It looked like, watch this, it looks like he's going to break this thing, and he's caught right away. He caught that ball with a full head of steam, John.
Yeah, well, that's one of those guys. Landstrom is the free safety there, so he's used to those open field tackles. That's not the type of tackle that your normal interior lineman and stuff can make, but a free safety, that's routine and part of the game for them.
Well, has to take a timeout here. Didn't like what he saw from that defensive front in the play that they had called, so St. Joe's takes their first timeout with 3:25 in the first quarter and no score.
I think, Kevin, when I was going to say Green, I think he's feeling it. I think he's got that confidence factor because the way he fielded that punt, he fielded a lot of confidence after a couple of good defensive plays earlier.
Yeah, he normally does not play defense. Mike Capozzi, wears number 2, went out with an ankle injury. He was being taped up on the sideline, left ankle. And there's the man who's not playing today, speaking of ankle injuries, Sandro DeAngelis, who is a top player in Western New York last year, our top underclassman here at HGTV, and a 2nd-degree sprain of the left ankle, and he can't come back soon enough for St. Joe's. Just an outstanding player on all 3 sides of the football.
But, you know, John, for our viewers back in Ohio, about Sandro DeAngelis, an interesting player because here he is, one of the top rushers and top linebackers. Because of his stature, he's stocky and strong, so he dominates at the high school level. But he's such a great kicker and punter that he's on scholarship to Nebraska for kicking and punting, which is very unusual.
Do you have any idea what sort of average is a carry? I'm assuming the hang time would be there and all, but does he punt the ball deep?
He's got a very strong leg. He has a Division I leg. And Nebraska can go out and get anybody they want.
Yeah, his kicking abilities, 40 yards, no problem in the field goal department. Wow. And he usually kicks it through the end zone on kickoffs. First down at the 37, and Garcia hit immediately in the backfield. Number 52, Kyle Kaplan, made that tackle.
Number 28, Jamie Garcia.
Kaplan really hit him hard there, John. Let's take a look at this replay. He almost decapitates him. Good hit.
Yeah, he just took the inside swim move on that one. If you see it on the replay there, just threw the arm through, hit the gap, and just came in untouched on him after that. Nice play by Kaplan.
It's hard to believe that one player can make that much of a difference in a team, but it's true, and you saw it even at the NFL with Vinny Testaverde for the Jets, how one player can go down and really hurt a club.
Especially at this level when you have a stud player, he can dominate a game. Second down, 11, Rowan under pressure, lets it go. Simonian tucked away at the last minute by Dan Merritt, or Simonian may have had 6.
Well, one of them could have had 6. If Merritt catches it, he might go for 6 the other way, Kevin and John, but that pass well thrown. Let's take a look at the pressure.
Yeah, but I agree with you on that one, Walter. That sideline was wide open for either one of them.
And we'll see the end result here, Kevin. And, Rowland, I give him credit. He hangs in there.
You know, I was watching that play develop. I saw that Chardon rush in there and him, and I almost was expecting. I looked down the field to see if there was a screen pass being set up, the way they came through. But I guess they just dominated them at the line in that particular play.
Green has to run to the other side of the field. Third down. Pressure out again. Rowan, nice pass out. Simone hit him in the face mask. I think he thought it was going to be tipped by Landstrom. It was a great pass by Rowan, but Simonian's view was blocked. That was the 10 for number 11, Mike Broderick, who lost vision of it for a second.
Yeah, that's right, Mike Broderick. That's who it was. It looked like number 45 rolling off to a rough start here. Johnny Landstrom had his eyes on an interception, and he let the ball go through him.
Yeah, I think he kind of misjudged it. That's kind of the appearance I had, because he had a beat on that ball, but it just looked like you said it just went right through his hands. I think he just misjudged exactly where the ball was going to be at.
Rolling back to punt. Little pressure, and he gets off a high kick. Landstrom. And Chardon recovers. That was number 2 coming up with the recovery. And Rodriguez.
Now Landstrom's going to have to go over John Walsh to Rodriguez and pat him on the back because he just misplays this ball.
Yeah, that was nice awareness on the Rodriguez and that when reacting to it and getting on that fumble, because that could have been another disastrous one for Chardon here.
Yeah, I think as a punt returner, what you want to do is never catch the ball going backwards, and that's where Landstrom got caught.
Well, essentially that ball hit on his shoulder pads. You never want it to land against your body. You want to catch it and cradle it in his hands and then pull it into your body. That hard stuff it's hitting there.
Inside carry for the Hilltoppers. Again, you see him going like fullback, and that's Brzezinski.
And just by that quarterback, as you can see, Kyle Peck carrying that fake out, Kevin to the right. That might freeze the defense just long enough and cause a little confusion there. And Brzezinski picks up 8 yards. That's a pretty big gain.
That's what I said. On that offense, that's carrying out your fakes is part of it, too. See, that sets up Peck next time for a bootleg where he can keep the ball. You know, because he naturally flows. They might forget about that aspect.
Brian Smith has it hard. Into the open. Yeah, he's going to go for a touch. Touchdown Hilltoppers. Brian Smith. Out to the 38-yard line, making 62 yards. And they're picked out.
Well, that was great blocking on that left side. That whole lane opened up for him. Smith had a little slap at his ankles, got a hip hop through that one, just took off for the races.
Well, great run by Smith untouched. Tremendous blocking on that left side by the center, McCummins, Kaplan, and by Harry on the left side, and then off to the races. Smith, I'll tell you, Brian at 6'2", 202, a senior, showed some great speed.
Hilltoppers going for 2, as John mentioned there. Former place kicker is likely at a soccer game today. Peck, gonna pass. Made through that one too high. Oh, flag thrown. I think that was uncatchable myself, but interference can be on Green.
And very unusual to get an interference call on a 2-point conversion try. You don't see that too often.
I was suspecting incidental contact. I'm surprised there was a flag thrown there at all. I didn't see a push off, but that's exactly what they're calling a push off on St. Joe's. Now that opens up your options quite a bit for the 2-point because you're only a yard and a half away. That's a straight dive play type thing for 2 points.
Well, to tell you the truth, John, I'm a little surprised on the call from the 3-yard line that they would roll out and pass.
I'm sure St. Joe's was surprised too. The reason why Bob Doyle called that.
Yeah, it was like a late development. He was wide open in the corner of the end zone there, but Peck didn't realize it in time and get the ball to him a little bit sooner, but it's working out so far right now.
Inside handoff, that's Chua for the 2 points.
And again, they go on the left side behind the Cummings, Kaplan, and Byeri for the 2 points. We'll take a look at the touchdown. He's on touch and off to the races.
I'm really surprised at that because that's from a yard and a half out. You got that's Smith's touchdown run we're watching right now. But on that extra point thing of Chua having that, look at that hole. Wow, there's that ankle grab.
Walt, you could have ran through that hole.
Yep, but I don't think I could have ran for the touchdown.
Oh, you could have walked through.
Oh, I'm sure we could have got 5-6 out of that.
Great run by Brian Smith, 62 yards. And the 2-point run good by Chua, and it's 8-0. The Hilltoppers with 1:42 to play in the first quarter.
That is just great blocking up front, though. That, like I was starting to mention there, and that extra point, how they could open up a hole on a 1.5-yard play where it's obviously right in the middle. You're going to do a quick dive. They actually had a big lane open up. Those linemen, I guess, are inspired today. They're blowing them off the ball.
Yeah, that was a walk in the park, easy for Chua for the 2 points. And, you know, St. Charles is reeling a little bit. I mean, last week they were right in the ball game when DeAngelis got hurt when they lost to that powerful Cathedral Prep team, a team that St. Joe's had beaten a year earlier, as Chardon had beaten Cathedral Prep last year. But it was 14-7 midway in the second quarter when DeAngelis went down and they were on the drive and looking to tie the game up, and then the game got away from them, and they eventually got blown out big time by Cathedral Prep, 56-7 the final. But what I'm saying, John, I don't think the final was indicative of that type of game it would have been had DeAngelis been healthy.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. It's one of those, this high school football is such a, pumped up motivational type game, and when all of a sudden the guy you look to on offense and defense is taken out of the game for you, that just changes the whole complexion. It's like a balloon deflating. The whole team emotionally just kind of draws in.
And Kevin, I'm not sure that St. Joe's has recovered yet from that loss and that game going into this game, because they're in trouble here because their running game does not look that good against this young Chardon team, and Chardon's fired up for this game.
Well, yeah, when you got to change it totally, because if he's your go-to guy, and all of a sudden he's not there to go to, that just totally changes your whole playbook almost.
Well, John Wilson will kick off. Again, not the normal place kicker. And this one not a bad effort. And it gets by. It's a live ball. Garcia will pick it up back at the 7. Breaks one tackle and gets out to the 15-yard line, just shy of the 15-yard line. It'll be first down for St. Joe's. Look at the scoring summary here for the Hilltoppers. 2 plays, 70 yards, 44 seconds. It took not too long there. A 62-yard run by Brian Smith. 2-point conversion run was good.
And Green misplayed that kickoff, and Dan Merritt ended up making the tackle. Now Roland has got to get on track here, Kevin, to get them back in this ball game. But he's not getting a lot of help from his running game. They're going to have to run the football and open up that passing game.
Well, one thing Bob O'Connor did tell us in our meeting tonight, without Sanders, they have to try and throw the football more, but it's been unsuccessful thus far.
Yeah, secondary's been playing nice and tight today.
This is a pitch to Garcia, and he does a nice job of staying in bounds in that carry, and looks like he picked up 5 yards.
Well, that was a good gain, I'll tell you, because John Landstrom was right there and then helped by Dan Merritt. And it looked like they were going to stop Garcia right up the line of scrimmage. Garcia did pick up 5 yards. Good up in here. Let's take a look at Garcia. He'll duck this tackle right here from Landstrom. He gets away. He almost grabbed his face mask.
Yeah, he was out the back of the helmet there. But like you were saying, Walter, I think that the Marauders are going to have to get that ground game established to make their passing game effective. Because these guys are run blockers, not pass blockers.
Rolling on the pass is Simone, incomplete. And he fumbled it. It looks like Chardon recovered. And Rowan got popped on the play. That play is completely disastrous for St. Joe's.
Hey, I don't know what the problem is. There's Rowan getting up. Perfect pass to Simone, but not only Simone, but a lot of these players from St. Joe's are having trouble holding on to the football in this game. Take a look at the pressure, and is this a late hit on the release? That's a little late, yeah.
On his throwing arm.
Brian Smith, but you always want to put a licking on the quarterback if you can at any level of football. Let's take another look. And wide open here, John.
Yeah, that pass was thrown. He got his wide open, got it to him. Didn't have the opportunity to tuck that ball away, which was fortunate for Chardon.
Peck, gonna pass, looking for the deep play. And it's going to be incomplete, but pass interference going to be called on the play as the intended receiver was number 43. That's Nick Chilzinkowski. But he was covered up by, I think Green was the man who
number 10
just buried him when he tried to catch the football.
And I think Green made a good play here, John and Kevin, because he was beat for a touchdown, and Peck actually underthrew the ball. He was wide open.
I don't think Green would have caught had that flag thrown on him if he had looked back at the ball, but he never looked back, and the referee's going to throw that every time if you run into the guy without looking back. If you look back, you're making the intent of going for the ball. He didn't do that, so that was a clear-cut case of pass interference.
Yeah, I didn't get it in, but going back to that fumble there by Simone.
Defense ready, Bry?
going back to that fumble by Simone, and it was Gillison who made the stick and caused that fumble.
Well, the ball's marked at the 27-yard line. That's actually called 28 for the Hilltoppers. And it's a handoff to Brzezinski, the fullback. He barrels ahead for a good 5 yards on that first down carry.
Yeah, again, the line had to push on that one and kind of took the St. Joe players and pushed them a good 3 yards back, made it easy for the handoff to the fullback.
Well, I'll tell you, your club here from Ohio, Chardon, John, looking pretty impressive for a team coming in with a 1-3 record.
Well, I'll tell you another thing about that 1-3. It's a little misleading. They play state powers. Their schedule is absolutely brutal.
Second down, we'll call it a short 6. Landstrom, I see the fullback, Chua, is out, completely faked out. A touchdown for Chua on the dime. That's why it's so very high.
I was watching and couldn't pick up the ball either. Yeah, look, I've seen Chua inside the 15-yard line, heading for the end zone.
And the thing is, it was the after fakes. The ball was handed off. It's the after one that makes this up. As you watch here, Peck hands it off inside, flowing out. You'll see a lot of the St. Joe's guys going along with him, which opens up the hole even wider for Chua.
Yeah, they're going for the ball. They're going for the quarterback, and Chua's already upfield.
Yeah, well upfield.
24-yard touchdown run for Luke Chua, which might be one of the all-time great names in high school football.
Yes, there's chance to go on in the Chardon's hands for that.
And it's time to hand off to the second back in Smith, and he is going to be stopped short for the end zone.
Well, really tough for high school. Really tough to defend this offense.
I think Aaron Sanders man hit him first to keep him out of the end zone. Chardon on the 24-yard touchdown run by Chua leads St. Joe's 14-0 with 33 seconds to play in the first quarter.
I wish they would show if they have a possibility, if they have on tape, if they can get the replay of that extra point. You have to watch Chua on that one. He took the fake. Watch him fight through his fake afterwards. That illustrates how this offense goes. It's carrying out it even when you don't have the ball. I mean, just do your faking completely.
It seems the way that to defend it, you'd have to put 9 or 10 players in the box and take your chances on them not passing the football.
That's also staying disciplined on both sides. Chardon stays disciplined to carry out those fakes, and St. Joe's has to remain disciplined to hit that guy and tackle him no matter what.
That's the whole thing. It's staying at home is the best way to defense. You got to have your corners. You got to have your linebackers reacting. You know, go off of when if you're sure he's got the ball, go after him. If you're not 100% sure, play your zone area, or it's going to open it up in case they don't hand the ball to that first guy.
Well, it's been a strange first quarter so far. 32 seconds still remain on the clock. Couple of turnovers, couple of long touchdown runs for the Chardon Hilltoppers, and St. Joe's still trying to get that offense on track and about to receive the football again to try to get it going.
Yeah, I like when I watch sports, whether it's amateur or professional, I like to roll back the clock, Kevin, and just think back to that when St. Joe's was at the 5-yard line going in for the score, and now it's 14-0, they're down. How did it happen?
Well, one of the things was turnovers. I think that's your whole key. You had the interception on the goal line. You had the fumble right here in front of us here.
And flag thrown before the kick. So they'll redo this one.
And you try and anticipate, well, what is going to happen in a game? We thought this would be a close game. Now you go back, St. Joe's at the 5. Second down and goal from the 4, Kev. They're going to take the lead.
He's got 25 seconds.
They're most likely going to take the lead. And then if somebody would have told you right at that point, in 2nd and 5, that, you know, the score at the end of the first quarter is going to be 14-0 Chardon.
Here, El Dorazio, 5-yard penalty on Chardon. He only has 25 seconds to kick, and looks like Mr. John Wilson took a little bit long to do that, so we'll move it back 5 yards to the 35, and he'll kick again. This should result in good field position by the Marauders, as Wilson's had moderate kicks.
There's something you don't see every day is a delay of game on a kickoff.
Oh, and a good boot here. Garcia will take it, and now we got another one. Likely the same thing.
That looked quicker that time. I'm guessing somebody jumped the gun a little bit and crossed over the line, that 10-yard zone.
He wasn't ready. I was.
Yeah, the officials say you have to wait for the whistle. Once the whistle's blown, then you can go and proceed to kick it off. Hey, this is a young team, right? Tell us about that, John. They don't have many seniors. They want to kick it off and play.
Well, their problem this year, that's one of the problems they ran into. You got to base a high school football team in a senior class. They have one that's good in talent, but in numbers, they're very weak on that. They just don't have that many kids out in that senior class. Juniors, again, is a little bit smaller. They got a massive sophomore class. But the thing is, between the injuries, the lack of the seniors, a lot of these sophomores and juniors are getting valuable experience this season.
And Wilson puts a little more in this one, too, and it's going to be taken by St. Joe's. Good field run here. Trying to get across the 40-yard line. And they say he stepped down at the 42 was number 32, Joe Butler.
That was a good job at Eric Smith out there, just forcing him out of bounds, fighting through that stiff arm that was laid right on his face mask. That's the younger brother of Brian Smith, number 20.
Their scoring drive, another two-play drive for the Hilltoppers. This one 44 yards, took 48 seconds. And Chua, a 24-yard touchdown run. See, both scoring drives, both two plays, both in the 40-second mark, around the number, both very quick.
Yeah, now St. Joe's really, they have to establish a running game. If not, they're going to have to rely on Rowland all day to get back into this ball game. But he's a quarterback, Kevin, that's capable of passing the football.
Well, he's got the arm. First down carry by Garcia, trying to get to the outside, and he is taken down by Dan Painter, one of the outside linebackers, and got a half a yard on the play.
I'll tell you another thing that quarterback needs, though. He needs his offensive line to give him a little bit of time, because he's had some pretty good pressure, and if he's going to have to go strictly to the air, he's going to have the time to be able to do it.
Well, that does it for the first quarter of action. The St. Joe Marauders find themselves in a hole right now. 14-0 to Chardon here in Adelphia's HGTV Sports. Kevin Sylvester, Walt Sears, and special guest announcer John Walsh here with you today. And it's second quarter, start of the second quarter, St. Joe's trailing Chardon 14-0. First down play likely to result in a intentional grounding penalty on Greg Rowland, who threw that away as he's about to be sacked. Let's look at Brian Knight, former St. Joe's player who plays for the University of Pittsburgh. Back to see his alma mater. I'm sure they'd like to have him on the field.
Anytime you can get a player that caliber out there, sure.
Well, Pitt must have the week off.
Yeah, why wouldn't they have a game
idle this
today?
week in the Big East, in an early idle game.
Got the week off, so he decides to come back to his high school. That's nice.
You got to come back home for those care packages, you know. Hit mom up for a few dinners, a few bucks. Rolling to pass. That looked like it was supposed to be a screen play.
Nobody was looking back, though, for the screen.
Looks like he overthrew Garcia, who was standing at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, St. Joe's in some trouble here now. They need to make a first down and get some confidence back into their offensive unit. Take a look at the replay. Good pressure, boy. All day they're right on rolling.
That was Chua, and then scored the last touchdown for the Hilltoppers.
From that nose tackle spot, John, pretty good speed there for a big guy.
Oh, he's got excellent speed. I'll tell you, and he's so low and he's got thick legs. He's just a load coming at you. But you're right, Walter. The whole key to the St. Joe offense, they got to establish that running game, or they're not going to be able to do it through the air. He's just getting no time to do it. You got to offset him with the run.
Rollins' punt nearly blocked, but got off a good one anyway. Landstrom is going to be hit after about a 5-yard return. Green there to make the tackles. Chardon will take over at the 38-yard line.
There's a look at Dan Merritt. I think he decided just a quarter of a second too late to go for this football. Once he got in there, he said, I got a chance to block this, and he makes that late lunge. He almost got it.
I'll tell you, is this St. Joe's known for providing kickers? I'll tell you, for a backup punter, that's not a bad high school punter. He's got excellent hang time. He's getting good length out of those things.
Well, he's 195-pound young man. He's a strong kid.
Well, I'm heavier than that, and I can't kick.
You're not in high school either, John.
That's true.
Here's the handoff to the fullback, Krasinski. And that's a 9-yard carry, just shy of the first down. Well, got to be impressed with that inside handoff, the 0-1 dives by the Chardon team.
I'm impressed with their entire team, both offense and defense, but right now, John, they're clicking on offense.
Look at that hole open up. There's nobody there. You can see Brzezinski is sitting there with 2 hands on the ball, which you're supposed to do till you get past those linebackers, but he's not meeting the linebackers. They're blowing off the ball, and he's just meeting the secondary guys.
Second and short. Peck hands off to Brzezinski again, and he has the first down. I was able to follow at that time. Have to pick up a 5 yards for Brzezinski across midfield into St. Joe territory.
I think another thing, John, what this does to the offense is it puts a lot of wear and tear on the defensive unit of St. Joe's, and they're going to wear them down. They're pounding that ball into them.
Oh, yeah. Well, defenses tend to wear down a little bit more. One, you're muscling them off the ball. Another thing, they're forced to look around, and it's mental tiredness more than the physical because they don't know where the ball is and stuff, and that just wears you down as the game goes on.
First down at the St. Joe 47. This handoff to Landstrom. And St. Joe's caught him that time. Maybe a yard. Akiola made that tackle. Naati Akiola.
There's a great name for you, too. We do have some classic football names down in this field today.
Let's take a look at the replay. Akiola stands him up, number 68, you can see. And Holbrook also helped out. One of the rare times they've stopped this Chardon offense, as you see Akiola from the backside for no gain.
Second down and 10. Landstrom the motion man. Peck hands off to Smith, and he goes up inside. The man who wrapped him up first, Joe Butler, after a pickup of about 4 yards.
Yeah, that's third and a fairly long situation.
Yeah, we were talking, I don't know if we'll get a shot, but look at Smith. Remember, he scored the touchdown before. A big contingent of fans here, John, coming down from Ohio, making a 3.5-hour ride, and the entire Chardon marching band playing the national anthem. They did a great job.
Yeah, they did, and the crowd, they follow them. This high school team has an excellent follow. You come to a home game, and you can't even sit in the stands. They're just 5 deep at the fence.
Third and a long 6. Well, they went to call a timeout, and they give it to them. They were about to have a false start and illegal motion, but wisely, Peck takes the timeout.
Yeah, Eric Smith was a little confused there. That's the younger brother of Brian Smith.
That's his younger brother, yes.
And he didn't set himself up right, so quarterback saw that Peck and called the timeout.
Which was a very smart thing to do. You don't want that extra 5 yards tacked onto it. You know, he just did a good job of recognizing, let's not take a situation where we got a 3rd and long and make it 3rd and forever. So he kind of took the timeout. They still got him to use. They're not in danger of, being hurt here. You can see just that play just was totally out of sync from the start.
You know, John, you mentioned that although they're 1-3, they have a monster schedule. Now, how could they still qualify for the playoffs? Were they non-league losses? And how can Chardon go on and still make the playoffs this year in Ohio?
The Ohio system is very sophisticated. It's a 2-tiered system geared on the size of the school and then their record and then who that school played as well in the record versus them. So it's a very sophisticated computerized system. So you could take 3-4 losses and possibly still make the playoffs.
Peck on the keeper. First down, open field. And Peck's taken down by Simonian near the 11-yard line.
Wow, and an injured St. Joe player down on the field near the 41.
It's Sanders, I believe, the linebacker. Aaron Sanders, number 53.
And I'll tell you what, Peck is going to have to talk to. That could have been a receiver downfield. Didn't give him a very good block. That should have actually been a touchdown. Let's take a look at this, John. You could describe it.
Yeah, Peck's just coming off an injury as well. He missed the first couple games they had this year, so injuries have hurt him a lot this year. I've mentioned that several times. He's not as mobile. He twisted his knee up a little bit last week in the St. Edwards game, who's a Division I or a big school state power in Ohio.
You didn't really get a good look on that look at the block, but had he got any kind of block downfield, that would have been a touchdown.
I think if his knee had been properly in, because he's got excellent speed out there, he just didn't see, he looked like he was laboring a little bit in his running. He actually is a smooth and a quick runner.
Ball is marked at the 12-yard line, first and 10. Aaron Sanders,
Nice
middle
to see him
linebacker,
sitting.
is the injured man. They can't afford another injury, and he's going to walk off. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him on that play, but Mike Capozzi, one of the wide receivers and right cornerback, is already out as you see Sanders coming off.
And look at those socks, Kevin. Little black socks, a little unusual. Way low.
That's just football style. Everybody's got their own little trademark they want there. That happens to be him as his little black socks.
That's the old style, isn't it? That's the old school.
At least they're clean.
We're from Cleveland. We have Jim Tomei. He wears those high ones, so we're used to all kinds of sock styles.
Peck's handoff to Chua, and he gets 4, maybe 5 on the carry, depending upon the spot. Looks like he got to the 7, so we'll give him 5.
I don't know if St. Joe's, they're coming off that great year last year, just like Chardon came off a great year. They were our #1 team in Western New York football when undefeated. You can see the replay there, very little running room for Chua. But St. Joe's now with the injury to Sandro DeAngelis, the big loss last week, maybe they're getting a little surprised here by Chardon.
Well, it could be, and plus it's a different style of football. I mean, face it, they're not that far apart, a couple hundred miles in distance, but you just do get different styles of teaching and all than what you're used to in New York or what Ohio's used to.
That inside handoff, Chua again. J.D. Trammell made the tackle. Reserve defensive lineman in there. And he maybe got a yard, so we'll call it 3rd down and 4. They need to get about just inside the 3-yard line for a 1st down.
But I think with their kicker being injured, we're in 2-down territory here. They're just going to keep going for it till they get it.
And that's a good point, too. Two good points so that they can make the 1st down, Kevin, without a touchdown.
Hilltoppers take another timeout to go over the situation. They'll try to go up by 3 touchdowns.
And I'm a little surprised, even with the 14-0 score, John and Kevin, that St. Joe's, even though they're reeling from that loss of DeAngelis, that they would be down by 14 in this game and potentially 21 here.
Well, I think you pointed out too early, Walt, on the ensuing kickoff, the opening kickoff of the game. St. Joe's recovers a football, gets down to the 5-yard line, and tip pass is intercepted, and I think that took away what could have been a huge momentum builder for the St. Joe's Marauders, especially since they're playing without Sandro DeAngelis. And talking to the players this week, one of the things that Bob O'Connor's players said, hey, we have to show that we can win without Sandro DeAngelis, and that's one of the things they wanted to improve, but I think it's showing today, and who knows if he would have been the difference. This Chardon team looks pretty solid.
Could be, Kevin and John, but I think at this point, we'd have to admit, watching this football game, that Chardon is really dominating, this football game, both lines of the scrimmage.
3rd down and 4. You see the total yards there, 192 total yards. Peck rolling out, stumbled, and he's going to be taken out for a sack, and that's a fumble on the play. I think the lineman was able to cover up. Yeah, number 59 was able to come in and come in.
There was Eric Thompson coming in from his tackle spot on that one.
Looks like Akiola is getting credit for getting the sack and the fumble. Let's take a look at if it is 68, Akiola. Quarterback Peck gets himself in trouble, keeps retreating. And there's the big hit by Akiola and the loss.
Well, he's been impressive defensively for the Marauders, Akiola.
We're saying his name a lot, that's for sure.
There's no good. Well, he's been playing a heck of a game out there. That's a force. I can't imagine, the 2 linebackers keyed together playing. That's got to be a dominant defense.
Big play here.
And now St. Joe's spending a timeout. Their 2nd of the half. 6:46 on the clock.
Yeah, they stop them here, and it's still a 2-touchdown game.
Wonder what they saw. That was kind of an odd timeout. It's the same defense. It's not like they came out in a wishbone or an I formation, something they hadn't seen yet. It was a conventional wing T offense they looked at. They saw something because about 3-4 kids immediately called for the timeout.
For our viewers in Ohio watching this game too, yes, you run the wing T. Delaware wing T is the offense that Chardon runs. It's in this area. Teams do use it, and maybe a little bit of variety or variable to that, the double wing. They run, so we see it. We do see this offense a little bit in this area, and successfully run too. Kevin, you mentioned Orchard Park.
Look at the Chardon crowd there, by the way,
huge.
the band they brought. And high school football is big all around, but you always hear about Pennsylvania, Ohio, Texas, the huge areas of high school football, and we all, when Chris Spielman was here talking about Massillon, Ohio, and the great high school games they have here. And the impression I get from talking to you, John, it's the event of the week.
It's a religion. You folks do yours on Sunday, we do ours on Friday nights.
4th down, Peck.
Oh, he's got him.
Out for Landstrom, a flag thrown near the line of scrimmage. Pass was incomplete.
I'm guessing probably a hold where he threw it. It probably is a hold, so they'll just, I'm sure, decline it.
Yeah, they'll decline it, but it looked like Landstrom was open in that flat, and the quarterback did not make a very good pass.
He threw over the wrong shoulder. Landstrom was looking back over the one shoulder. The ball was on the other. He couldn't make the adjustment to get to it, but he was wide open, Walden.
Well, St. Joe's will take over on downs as they do the obvious thing and decline the penalty on the incompletion. They'll take over the football, 1st down at the 22-yard line.
Well, a trend in our football in Western New York, which is Section 6, and then we have the public and the Catholic schools, has been more running in the last 5 years. A lot of running of the football and less passing for the very, very successful teams. In fact, we have a Lackawanna in my hometown. They've won 2 consecutive state championships in Class B, John, and they're on a 28-game winning streak.
1st down pitch to the outside, Butler. And that might be one of the better runs this afternoon for St. Joe's. They get the quick pitch to the outside. And that's a 5-yard pickup, maybe 6. I'll give him 5 for Butler.
I'll tell you, one of those things, your comment fits in with the philosophy of Coach Doyle. He's sitting there saying, we're in Northeast Ohio, we're in cold weather. Once you get near the end of the season, you know, it's going to be cold, it's going to be wet. That is not passing territory, so you better learn how to run the ball. That's kind of the philosophy of...
it never gets cold or wet here, John. I don't know.
In Buffalo, yeah, I
forget what
understand.
they told you about Buffalo.
Very little snow, too, from what I understand.
2nd down and 5. Under 6 minutes to play, 2nd quarter, 14-0 Chardon. Good carry here for Garcia. They put together back-to-back runs. Looks like he got about 10 on that carry.
Well, that's the best run of the game for St. Joe's. And credit the offensive line there, Acchiola again, and Vinci on the right side with Chalsty center. And a good read by Garcia to get through there and make the 1st down yardage.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they got to do. They got to establish that running game. It looks like they're starting to get it in gear a little bit. That was a big defensive set by St. Joe's that time, Hold'em. They needed to do that. It looks like it might have puffed up their offense just a little bit. They're moving the ball well now.
Kevin, that was the first time I think St. Joe's actually moved them off the line of scrimmage, the defensive line of Chardon.
Ball marked 37. Another quick pitch. Good cut by Garcia, but run down by the cornerback, Eric Smith.
Eric Smith one-on-one. It looked like a pretty good play there by the young guy. Only a junior, 5'10", 175. Tell us about him, John. Watch his textbook tackle here.
Yeah, he just came up, filled his run assignment on that one. Nobody was in his zone, saw the run coming, came up on it, and just made a good open field tackle on that one, dropping him for a little bit of a loss.
They seem, John, like they're a very hard-hitting team.
Oh, they are. They're going to come at you for 4 quarters, too. They're an excellent conditioned football squad.
2nd and 12, split backfield. Rolling, straight drop, now a screen, and Butler couldn't hang on. Pass a little bit high for Butler.
That's got to be caught, though. I mean, that's just a little touch pass. Even if it's behind you, he's got to make that catch. He's going to get a good gain on this. Let's take a look at the pressure on the replay, John. But if he makes his catch, he might have a 1st down and more.
Oh, yeah, it was just thrown a little. He panicked a little bit in his throw. He threw it a little bit off, but that was a well-called play. That's exactly what they should do. That's one of the ways to offset a good, strong rush, which Chardon has. Let them come. We'll throw the screen over you and get the gain off of that. So even if it didn't work that time, I'd come back to it.
3rd and 12. Rowland hangs in under the blitz, looking for Simone off the fingertips at the Chardon 40. He was hit immediately as he touched the football. Rowland hung in well, though, to deliver an excellent pass.
They both got hammered, too, Rowland and Simone. Looked like Simone took his eye off this football. This is a catchable ball. It might be a good hit, good stick.
Well, I'll tell you why he took his eye off the football. If we see the end of it, number 7, Dan Merritt. This is why.
Yeah, from both ends. You had Kevin Neal coming in at the quarterback. You had Dan Merritt finishing. That was a well-timed hit by Merritt. As soon as that ball hit on his fingertips of a perfectly thrown pass, he slammed it. There was really no way he could hold on to that.
Zach Whiting to punt. New punter in, and he gets it a high kick. Fair catch called for by Chardon. Back at the 35-yard line by Rodriguez.
Well, that pass play, the little dump off on the screen, and then Simonian dropping that long pass. It was a perfectly thrown ball. Those are the plays, Kevin, that last year St. Joe's made all year. And they're not, today they're having a little difficulty hanging on to the football.
But they're still in the football game.
Oh, yes, they are. They're only down
14.
14, anyone's game.
And I have noticed defensively and offensively, they're starting to kick it up a little bit and play better football. So, yeah, we still got a long way to go in this one.
4:23 second quarter. Chardon with that 14-0 lead. They hand off to the fullback, Brzezinski, and he has the first down of 10 yards out across the 45 to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, he's getting deep into the secondary, into Butler and Rowland before they're making the tackle there. You don't want Rowland 17 making the tackles that far downfield. He's a free safety.
Yeah, there was some excellent blocking up time on that. The right side, they went over Nick Weber at the guard position. Eric Thompson at the tackle position. They opened up another nice lane for Brzezinski to run through. That's a defense has got to start pulling some stunts in there. Offset that blocking a little bit, try to shoot the gap some, because they can't keep getting pushed off the ball like that, or it's going to be a long afternoon.
And Brzezinski again, and he gets to the secondary. Flag thrown on the play. Rowland made the tackle.
Yeah, it looks like they're attacking the two fellows there. Smith is one of them, and he's the running back. Eloff, the tight end, one of those two got called. That's too bad, John, because that was a good-looking play again. Strong run.
I'd like to see. I wish I could hear a number that was on.
Right there on the outside.
Oh, it was right on impact. We did see the hole on the television there. It was right at the point of opening up the hole. I was thinking from where he threw the flag, it was a couple players down away from the play. But no, I guess it was the one that opened the hole up.
Apparently they said it was the center.
Well, take it back to the 39-yard line. Call it 1st and 17. Power right formation, and bring to the other man through. That's Smith, the other Smith, not Brian Smith, but his brother, Eric.
The younger Smith, Brian's a senior. Eric, the junior, having a good ball game here.
Yes, he is, or as Kevin says, the other Smith. I guess seniors get top billing. We'll give him first name. The other one could be the other one.
And he'll be watching and say, hey, I'm the other Smith. Actually, my brother's the other Smith.
Actually, there's another Smith that graduated last year. They're all over the place.
So they're both the other Smiths.
Yes, they are.
Counter play and a tackle deep in the secondary. Big gain.
Well, good run. Got over 10 on that carry. 2nd down and 6. Picked up 11 on that play. Now Brian Smith, the older brother, is in motion. And Peck kept it that time, and he got hit hard by Justin Baumler.
No, we haven't called Baumler's name too much in the first half, but Justin Baumler makes it one of the best hits here of the game for St. Joe.
Watch here. It is open, but Baumler just throws away and discards his at the last second, comes across and fills the gap, because Kyle Peck read that correctly. There was a lane open up. The block just wasn't held, and it was a good defensive play by St. Joe's.
Loss of a yard, 3rd and 7.
That's one of the problems, Kevin, being a high school quarterback and running the football. Take those kind of hits.
Play action pass, batted down in the middle of that defense. Mike Holbach, number 14.
Again, that St. Joe's defense is just playing good and solid now. They're starting to kick it up a little bit, maybe getting adjusted a bit to what Chardon's doing, but they're playing much better defensive football.
Well, they carry out the fake, and as Kevin called it, Holbach will knock it down, and maybe St. Joe's needs a good punt return here, something to give him some life.
Well, Doug Green will be back to receive. Greg Simonian, the short man, and Eloff with the punt. Green will take it. Has a man to be on the outside, and he's taken down.
Eric Smith and Kevin Neal on that tackle.
And I'll tell you, I had a real good sight line. That was a real nice job by Eric Smith on the punt coverage. He played it to the outside, and he wouldn't let Green get to the outside, and that enabled Kevin Neal to come up and make this stick. Take a look. It was a real nice job by the younger Smith, Eric Smith.
That's exactly, he made him do a little bit of dancing there until he could get help from his teammate Kevin Neal from behind.
Boy, young Smith's having a big ball game here. Eric, the starting cornerback, getting to play a little bit at the running back spot.
That's the thing. He's one of those underclassmen that's just getting the opportunity to play more and more, and that's only going to make him better in the future.
Shotgun for Rowland. Has room to run, and he will. And he runs out of bounds at the 30-1-yard line. And, of course, coming up at halftime, the return of Around Section 6. All the news, notes, and highlights around Western New York and the top 10 players of the week. It's the return of Around Section 6 right here on HGTV Sports, so don't go anywhere at halftime.
Yeah, you won't want to miss that. I was going to mention about Rowland, too, Kevin and John. He's a big guy, but he's taking a lot of hits in this game, both offensively and defensively.
He's taking a lot of hard hits, too.
Yeah.
Ones that have left him a little bruised up.
2nd down and 5. Going to his right. Deep ball across his body and almost intercepted by Eric Smith, the intended receiver, Greg Simonian.
Oh, Eric had it all lined up, and how did he miss it, John?
Well, it kind of went off his hands and landed on the ground. That's the opportunity. But, again, that play was set up by him not able to set his feet. Watch the pressure he's getting. He's got Kevin Neal coming from the backside, Chris Eloff coming, making him hurry his throw, and he can't set enough he's got to go completely on the run, and it's a wobbly pass. Eric gets underneath. He's probably asking himself how he didn't catch that one.
3rd down, long 5 here for St. Joe's. Rowland stepping up, going to run this time, but he's going to be taken down by Ben Desikevich after returning to the original line of scrimmage. Maybe he lost a yard on the play, so a sack by Desikevich.
Yeah, Desikevich will get the sack here, John Walsh, but I think if Rowland would have tucked it in and made that decision earlier, he would have picked up the 1st down.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a little gun shy here pretty soon because, like you said, he's taking hard hits, and he's taking hits by players that just seem to appear out of nowhere because he saw this big lane. Desikevich came across nicely and put him down there, but he's going to start counting the Chardon jerseys and see if there's 13, 14 of them out there because he's not finding any room to go.
Whiting's punt, not a very good one. Oh, look at that bounce, though. It turns into a good one. It's going to be down at the 30-yard line with 47 seconds to play in the first half.
And Zach Whiting did not punt. Rowland was the punter at the beginning of this game. No reason why Whiting has come on, but they both punted the ball pretty well. Could be Rowland with taking all those hits, playing both ways. You got to give him a rest sometime.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly why they should, but once you go, normally high school teams have their one kicker, and if he goes down, it's trouble time. But, boy, I'll tell you, the St. Joe's, that's why I was asking. Are they known for providing kickers?
3 punters.
All
Normally,
doing well.
DeAngelis is normally their main punter, and he's hurt.
1st down play, hand off to Landstrom, and he may have lost a yard or 2. Nice play made there by Mike Holbach.
Now, Holbach, who ended that last series, batted that pass down on 3rd down to force the punt, made a real nice tackle here. I didn't think he'd have enough strength here to bring him down, but he did.
Yeah, well, he did a nice job getting across and getting that penetration into the backfield. That's something they got to be able to do, and once you can shoot gaps, start getting into their backfield a little bit, those holes aren't going to be there.
2nd and 11, likely the last play of the half, and they hand off to Brian Smith. Look out, he's got open room. And he gets across midfield and taken down. 6 seconds on the clock. Gets across midfield to the 47-yard line of St. Joe's, and they're going to spend their final timeout.
They haven't spent it yet. I think it's just timeout for moving the chains.
Well, Peck was calling for a final timeout as he ran.
Oh, they just signaled now. They signaled timeout, so you're right there, Kevin.
Another big run here for Brian Smith, the senior. Ballmer will come on there, number 72, and Justin Ballmer throws him down. I mean, you expect on a play like that, Kevin and John, for somebody to make that tackle. But hey, if he busts that one more tackle in midfield, he could have went for a touchdown.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they come up here. I'm sure taking the time out, they're definitely going for it, not going to just take a knee. You don't take a timeout to take a knee. So we'll see if they go to the air game, a short pass to one of their fast backs and just let him do it, or if they try a nice little counter play. That's the thing. You never can predict with this offense.
We're going to take a look at Kyle Peck when he comes back and see if there's any noticeable limp. He is limping pretty noticeably.
Saw him grab his left hamstring there right before he's about to break the huddle.
I'm not sure. He's got a big old knee brace on there. He might be just moving that around. It took a little twist on that knee.
Here we go, final play of the half. And Peck's going to be sacked. Man coming through there, Aaron Sanders made the play, and that's going to do it. The first half in the books. Kyle Peck and the Chardon Hilltoppers lead the St. Joe Marauders 14-0 after one half of play on Adelphia's HGTV Sports. I'm ready when you are, Dave.
It's going to be a playoff team.
How many more would they? One more make a play?
At best. One more. At best. That's all you can. Well, at this point, yeah. You don't want to look at the.
All right. The Hilltoppers lead the Marauders at the half 14-0. Now it's time to take a look back at last week in Around Section 6. Around Section 6 is back. In this installment, we look back at the first 3 weeks in this 1999 season. Week 1 was the week of upsets as JFK, a Class C school, upset Class B and crosstown rival Maryville 33-12 behind 370 yards of offense. Clarence upended AA power Jamestown 26-7, setting up a huge showdown in Week 2 versus Lackawanna. Billed as the game of the year, Lackawanna versus Clarence was just that. With Lackawanna's 26-game winning streak on the line, the Steelers hosted the Red Devils and 1,200 fans. The teams traded touchdowns and regulation ended in a 7-7 tie. In overtime, Clarence drew first blood as tailback Tim Hammer scored, and Chris Capolla's conversion kick was good, giving Clarence the edge. But Lackawanna wasted no time evening the score as Joe the Best West scored on a pitch from Rodney Randolph. And on their first touch of the ball, instead of going for the tie, Bill Moore elected to go for the win and put the ball in the hands of his big gun, Joe West. West did not disappoint as he cashed in, giving Lackawanna the exciting win, extending its winning streak to 27 games and bragging rights in Western New York. Week 3 was a family affair as Amherst faced Williamsville South. South quarterback Pat Lester faced his older brother Kevin, who is the head coach at Amherst. Their father Kevin Sr. is athletic director at Williamsville South. The Phillies went on to blank the Tigers 44-0, and younger brother gets bragging rights over older brother. Let's turn to the HGTV Sports Top 10 performers. At number 10, Robert Darnley of Niagara Wheatfield. 210 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns as the Falcons remain undefeated. J.J. Alquist of Newport had 31 carries, 219 yards, and 2 touchdowns as Newport beat Wilson. J.J. Tutwiler, the Grand Island quarterback, threw for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. At number 7, it's McKinley's Mike Moore, ran for 209 yards and 5 touchdowns. Jacob Shields of Panama is at number 6. He ran for 201 yards on 19 carries. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving, and he also threw a touchdown. Checking in at number 5, Sherman Sweeney of Casadega, 213 yards and 18 carries and 4 touchdowns. Number 4, Brian Myers of Orchard Park, 299 all-purpose yards, 3 touchdowns as Orchard Park outlasted North Tonawanda. At number 3, it's Mark Wellington of Randolph. He had 247 yards on 33 carries, and he scored a touchdown. At number 2, it's Sweet Home's J.J. Gibson, 27 carries, 240 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And our top performer of the week, Kevin Burns of St. Mary's. He rushed for 217 yards, had 12 tackles, 2 fumble recoveries, as St. Mary's upset St. Francis. Let's take a look at the Western New York Coaches Poll. For the small schools, the ties, who have number 9s, Kensington and St. Mary's. Eden at 8, Wilson at 7, Maple Grove is 6, Salamanca at 5, Medina at 4, Southwestern at 3, Tonawanda's number 2, and Lackawanna in that familiar number 1 spot. For the large schools, McKinley at 10, Timon St. Jude at number 9, West Seneca East at 8, Williamsville South at 7, Pioneer at 6, St. Joe's is 5, Clarence is 4, Niagara Wheatfield at number 3, Orchard Park at number 2, and Lancaster has the top spot. Taking a look at the state rankings in Class D, Maple Grove has that top spot with Randall Secchi at quarterback. In Class C, Salamanca is at number 5. Class B, 2 local teams near the top, Tonawanda at 3, and Lackawanna, the 2-time defending state champion, atop the Class B poll. In Class A, Niagara Wheatfield number 18, Pioneer at 16, and Clarence at number 4. And in Class AA, St. Joe's is number 19, Lancaster at 8, and Orchard Park is 2nd. And that's a look around Section 6.
And the band get down and boogie to Disco Fever. Hilltopper Band would like to thank their bus drivers and chaperones for their time this weekend.
Well, both teams out for the second half. You see Chardon there with a 14-0 lead on St. Joe's. Kevin Sylvester, Walt Sears, and guest announcer John Walsh here with you today. Let's take a look at the scoring summary from the first half.
And we're going to take a look at a 62-yard run by Brian Smith here, a 6'2", 202 senior, as he breaks in on the left side and will go all the way behind the left side blocking of McCummins, Kaplan in by Harry, and that made it quickly a 6-0 game. And the two-point conversion, Luke Chua ran in, made it 8-0. And then after Smith's run, it's going to be the same guy that ran the two-point conversion in. Busting in from 24 yards out is Luke Chua, a name that Kevin Sylvester loves. Luke Chua, and they were unsuccessful on the try for two, and that made it 14-0. And safe to say, John Walsh, as we look at the stats, that your club from Chardon, Ohio, dominated that department.
Yeah, especially you'll find out in the rushing zone is where they had most of their dominance. 231 yards in the ground versus 47 against the St. Joe's squad. Passing, Chardon's a little bit down because sacks count against you on passing stats. St. Joe's just had the 22. They got a little bit of success. That 47-yard stat for St. Joe's is where they really have to kick it in. That's where they're hurting. The ground game has got to establish themselves. Them getting the ball is important. They're going to have to start out putting it on the ground and moving it.
And one thing else they got to do is look at Sandro DeAngelis, who's not playing in today's contest, the Buffalo News Player of the Year last season, and our HCTV Sports top underclassmen last season. They tried it once, that screen play, to take the aggressiveness out of the rush. They did not complete it. They have to get a couple of those to take some of that pressure off.
Yes, yeah, that coupled with the ground game, though, or their passing attack is going to go nowhere because those Chardon defensive linemen are just putting their ears back. They're doing their stunts, opening up the shooting by the linebackers. You got to nullify that, and the best way to do that is just run past them when they send a linebacker. That's a lot easier, less people deep, if you can open up a lane for them.
Look at Greg Rowland's stats. Just one pass completed, 24 yards out of 9 attempts, and he has one interception.
And unfortunately, that one completion was fumbled after he had completed the pass.
Yeah, that was Simoian, and he's a good throwing quarterback. He's only 1 for 9. And then the running game, Garcia, who had to take DeAngelis' spot, 7 carries, 10 yards. Only 2 first downs, Kevin, for St. Joe's the whole first half. They got to do a little bit better offensively if they hope to even remotely try to win this ball game.
I think the thing is right in the trenches, though. It's that offensive line that's got to kick it in gear. They got to nullify that rush of Chardon, opening up those lanes. Even if you only get the 3-4 yarders and get a nice drive going, it's given the Chardon defense something else to think of. Right now, they're just thinking, this kid's going to try to throw it on us. We're not worried that much about him because our guys are right in his face and won't let him throw.
Well, St. Joe's, of course, they won the coin toss, and they defer to the second half, and they elect to receive, obviously.
And the way Chardon ran that football, if they would match the second half with the first half, they might get close to 500 yards in this game on the ground. I mean, Smith had only 4 carries, I believe, for 93 yards. He had a great, that's Brian Smith. They all ran the ball pretty well.
That's a good per carry average, isn't it, there?
That'll fatten up the stats.
Oh, very much so.
Now from the 40-yard line, the man will be doing the kicking duties is number 65 for the Hilltoppers, John Wilson. Waiting for the whistle, and you see something interesting Chardon does. They hold the hands up every kickoff.
Well, that reminds me of the old Buffalo Bills when they were kicking the field goal.
Oh, don't even bring up wide right
wide. Scott Norwood. Remember, they all clasped hands.
That has, John, that comes up in every football game ever in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's sour point with you, too.
Garcia will take the kickoff and got a wall in front of him, and he blasts through the middle there. Some good runs after initial contact, some good yardage, I should say, and he gets out to the 38-yard line where St. Joe's will have good field position to start the second half.
Well, real nice return, but you got to credit Kevin Neal there, 33, with making that special team stop. Look at Garcia. This is one of his best runs here, and it comes off a kickoff return. It looked like he might break this.
Yeah, he had a nice wall, the wedge right in front of him. He found it, found his open little lane, hit it, and like you said, it was a good saving tackle by Kevin Neal on that.
Power I formation for the Marauders. Your typical pro set with the two receivers, and Butler is the man who carries this one, and he'll get a yard on the carry, maybe two.
Well, they want to establish their ground game, something that we talked about in our keys. Our first key was to step it up. I don't think they did that, St. Joe's. Second was to play good defensive tackle. They did that most of the first half. And third, Kevin, was to move the football, sustain drives. They didn't do that. So they didn't hit the keys.
That time they tried to offset it, I think, by doing a super quick hitter. It was just a quick handoff. Try to hit it in there before that penetration could get through. And, unfortunately, somebody got the hand around the waist, was able to pull him out. But I think that's a good game plan to start the second half with.
2nd and 9, rolling, straight drop. Looking for that screen we talked about, and he wisely throws that one out of bounds. It wasn't there. Again, looking for Butler.
Brian Smith had this played perfectly. Had this ball been thrown in the area where the running back could have caught it, as we look at the pressure, Smith might have had an interception.
Yeah, if you look, it seemed to be thrown to number 72, which normally you don't throw the pass at a defensive tackle or an offensive tackle like that. But the pressure was coming up the middle again. Desikevich was in there heavy, right in his face, forced him to throw it quick. He couldn't set to get a good, accurate throw, and Brian Smith did read that one off, had it covered, even if the pass had been there.
3rd and 9. Rolling on the 5-step. Down the field's got Simone in. Through his hands.
Wow, that's been going on this whole game. The first half, Bob O'Connor clapping his hands on the sidelines. What else can you do as a head coach telling his club, come on, let's go. That could have been a touchdown.
Oh, it should have been a touchdown. That pass was thrown right there. Excellent job. Again, Desikevich was in the quarterback's face, but he threw a beautiful pass that time that went right through the hands there of a receiver that got behind the Chardon defense. That should have been 6 points for Joe's.
This is why the Ivy League's looking at this kid rolling it, just because of that kind of arm strength.
You got to make that play, especially at this juncture in the game here where they're trying to get back into it. You got to make that play.
Well, rolling back to punt. He's back to punting here now, and he gets a good boot. Out of bounds off the hands of Landstrom, and be taken out at the 27-yard line. With Chardon will touch a football for the first time in the second half. 10:53 to go, 14-0 Hilltoppers.
John, I don't know if this happened in the first 4 games, but tell me now, the way Chardon was backpedaling there, rolling, they could do a fake punt here and probably catch Chardon off guard. They really went out of position. I was watching, they were all backpedaling. Had anyone tried a fake punt on them in the previous 4 games?
Yeah, they've had a little bit of fake punts, too, but normally they have the guys on the corner that hold their ground. You backpedal in the middle a little bit, but you keep the safety guys outside in case the quarterback does decide to, the kicker does decide to take it.
Here's the first down play. Landstrom, the motion man. The handoff to the fullback who gets upended. Brzezinski got upended immediately. Like Vincey and Holbach were in there to make the tackle.
It looked like Vincey took down the right tackle, Desikevich, and the ball carrier. Took them both out. I'll tell you, after the second touchdown, though, John Wall, St. Joe's has really stiffened up their defense.
Yeah, they did a good job that time and actually got into the backfield. I think they used a submarine technique to kind of hold their ground and not get, knocked back by that offensive line.
Back on the pitch to Landstrom. Simone came up from the defensive backfield. Be one of the players in that tackle, along with Aaron Sanders in the middle linebacker spot.
Well, that was great defense, and Mike Smith in there, too, who didn't see a lot of action in that first. Well, Mike Smith didn't. He's strong safety. Good defense.
Very good defense. They flowed to the ball well. Read the pitch man, didn't allow it, and allowed the sidelines to become their friend because they were going towards the short side of the field. So consequently, they just didn't allow them to have the room by stringing it out real nice.
We'll see what happens here, Kevin. Excuse me, but it looks like St. Joe's is stepping it up.
3rd and 9. Hand off to Brian Smith and
running though, covering that ball, because boy, that's something right now. You just want to hold on to that ball. The clock's your friend. Eat that thing up and just turn it forward. You don't want that turnover. So covering it with 2 hands is smart football carrying by Garcia.
Hey, remember this Chardon team, as you look at the replay, has made the playoffs the last 6 years. If they lose this football game, they won the state championship in '94. They missed the state championship in the finals last year. They could be out of the playoffs with this loss.
Garcia trying to cut it back. Got a little help from a block by Baumler. Gained 2 yards. Now a timeout's going to be spent here. I believe Chardon will take this.
You know, it's a John Walsh. I mean, essentially, if they lose this football game, they're 1-3. This would really hurt them for the playoff situation in Ohio.
Yeah, you got to figure 6-4 is the absolute worst they can do to still possibly make the playoffs. It's still iffy then. 7-3 is a much more comfortable position to make it in.
See, St. Joe's is considered a Division I team in Ohio because of their size of enrollment. So this would have been a huge win, Kevin, and it still can be for Chardon to pick up those hard-earned points. But a loss puts them at 1-4, and really, it might close them out.
Yeah, Harbin system used to be used here in Western New York, but that was scrapped. And if we have John explain how that playoff system works, it was developed there.
Well, John did from his area.
Yes, Harbin is based in Ohio. He started a computerized system based on, 1, the size of the school, and number 2, the record and the size of the schools they play. So it's a 2-tiered computerized system. It's kind of sophisticated. If you understand the basic of it, it really isn't, but it's tough to explain. You almost need a piece of paper. Got a telestrator out here I can use? I can illustrate it for you.
Is that guy all right?
I don't know. One of the fans getting crazy. Big 3rd down here for the Marauders. Rolls out left. He's got open field, and he has the 1st down. Great call by Bob O'Connor at the right time to get that 1st down.
And it was
the Chardon player's hurt.
It was a great job by Roland in selling that one, because if you looked, if there was a replay, you'll see the Chardon players are looking the opposite. Watch it here. See how he freezes them with that nice fake and ball. You can't see the follow, but there were 3-4 Chardon players facing the exact opposite way, looking for the ball. You did a great job of selling that one.
Number 40, Dan Painter, got banged up on the play. He's okay. I got to take my hat off, Kevin, to this quarterback Roland in his game.
Yeah, he has been outstanding today. Garcia has room, a blocker up front. The Butler doing it for him. Garcia just refuses to go down. As he has a great run there, gets inside the 20. Give him 9 yards on that one.
Well, Garcia scored a touchdown. He hasn't had a lot of yards, but he's had a couple of big runs in this game.
But he's coming through during the tough time. This is where you got to have him. And he's come through. A lot of these St. Joe's players have stepped up so much in the second half and just played tremendous ball games.
Minute 40 and counting. 2nd down. St. Joe's taking the time. Going to use all of it. Roland definitely taking his time here. I think he's maybe saw him talking to El Durazi before he snapped the football. Garcia again has the 1st down, and that carry inside the 15. That'll stop the clock with 1:23 to go.
Yeah, and Chardon's going to have to start using their timeouts. And you know, St. Joe's with that loss last week to Cathedral Prep, a school that would probably beat almost any team in Western New York, slipped from our number 1 team to number 5. And it was 14-7 when DeAngelis got hurt and they were driving to go in, St. Joe's to tie the game. But if St. Joe's had lost this game the way our polls work, okay, with 2 losses, they would have virtually been knocked out of any contention for the top 2 or 3 spots. Because I don't think our area takes into consideration strength of schedule like your area does or should, Kevin, because St. Joe's has to arguably play by far the best schedule in Western New York high school football.
Well, and they do, and they have, of course, struggle to find teams to work in the division play with, other such schools that try to work them into the schedule, and that's why they go out of state to play some teams. And yeah, when you think about it too, and the rate, and really all St. Joseph's played for besides Monsignor Martin title is the rankings locally, which is done by the coaches poll in the local newspaper, and kind of idiotic. Some feel that St. Joe's just in it for that, but if they were in it to be number 1 in the area, they would not play Cathedral Prep year in and year out and go out and try and play Chardon.
That team was lost in the semifinals of state in Pennsylvania last year and came back almost intact this season. That's a powerful football team.
Rowland takes some punishment there on first down, but that's a carry to try and kill some time off the clock.
Well, all they have to do is hold on to the football here.
Well, Chardon has one timeout, and they'll take it. Now a flag thrown.
I think we might have had talking.
Sportsmanlike, yeah. Brian Smith walked by, and Al DeRazio threw it immediately.
Yeah, that was explained before the game. That will happen from time to time. St. Joe's also plays Wilson Magnet and Edison Tech from Rochester, and they're supposedly a very good club.
Wilson Magnet, you don't want to face that team. We played
I'm
them.
Sportsmanlike on the defense. Second down.
I played them in semifinal action, and they just destroyed us.
So that.
Watch the end of the play. There's Smith.
You got Landstrom in a tackle.
So that.
Landstrom, okay, maybe Landstrom.
Just a little late.
Moves the ball to the 8-yard line. Second down, Garcia on that carry.
Runs into Ben Desikevich.
So, going back to that, Kevin and John Walsh of St. Joe's with Wilson Magnet, Edison Tech, Cathedral Prep, Chardon, Ohio. They play Timon and they play St. Francis, two big teams from this area, two big Catholic schools. Who from Western New York, Kevin, could go undefeated against that kind of competition?
No, not many.
If any. I don't think anybody could.
Yeah, that's, there obviously no ranking system is going to be perfect. But you got to come up with something that takes it so you do have the incentive to play the best in the area too, and if you can perform well against them, you deserve the possibility of being a state champ. Delay a game.
Delay of game, and Roland trying to say I had 3 seconds left, but
I blew the whistle before.
Al keeping a.
We had a big contingent of fans come down from Ohio.
Delay a game on the offense.
We had a lot of fun working with you and 3 people in the booth. It was enjoyable. But if they go on to lose this game, which looks like Chardon's gonna, they'd be 1-4. Coach Bob Doyle's got to go to Young Club, explain to them, hey, we got to go out and win the next 5 games to have a shot.
Well, they still got their league championship to work for. So that's their motivation now, is to work for their league championship.
There's the third down play. Rowland going out. Going to keep this one. Breaks a tackle. Rowland to the end zone. Touchdown! That'll cap off a great day for Greg Rowland with that 14-yard touchdown run.
He just wanted that, John. He just wanted that badly. He made a great play.
He broke a couple tackles along the way, and he just put together, he had a little rough in the first half, but he was getting beat up pretty good. He came back strong in the second half. Showed a lot of leadership and, just guided this team to a well-deserved victory.
Well, I think the most impressive part, too, about Rowland's game is, Kevin, when you look at that first half, all the hits he took on offense and defense to hang in there.
Yeah, he's
the effort that he did.
He is going to be sore, but he's earned his pizza after this game.
It's interesting you would say that, because I'll tell you, when we had our meeting, John, the St. Joe players go out like Friday night before the game on their own, the kids, and go to a restaurant and eat with no supervision. They pick out a place every game, the home games, and the players go, no coaches. Last year they had such a great season that they took the coaches the last game.
Well, that's neat. If nothing else, that's part of the team. That just brings you together as a team.
Waiting after the extra point.
That's great to hear.
Although, of course, we were not invited to dinner.
Well, either were the coaches on.
Whiting's kick, that one is good. St. Joe's with a 27-14 lead with 15 seconds remaining on the clock.
I think one of the players, when they started that restaurant thing, probably one of the higher grades in the class, too.
So, of course,
no adults.
Last year, the Clarence football team that won that great run into the state playoffs, they used to have spaghetti at Matt Zielinski's house. We get invited there either way.
Yeah, no, and Matt Zielinski went on to Duke.
That's an individual player, and they had a whole team over. He had tremendous parents, didn't he? I would not have a football team at my house.
There's Greg Rowland's touchdown run, the capper. And put the exclamation point on this football game and seal the deal.
Everyone's happy here at home St. Joe's were sort of on bias, although St. Joe's is from our section, Chardon is from Ohio. They came down, they put on an excellent ball game. I feel a little bit bad for these young guys because it looked at halftime, Kevin and John, that they were going to win this football game.
Yeah, tale of two halves, really. I'd love to be flying the wall in the locker room at St. Joe's. What Bob O'Connor said at halftime, because whatever it was, it worked.
Yeah, and the turnovers just killed Chardon. Second half turnovers.
Well, and you also wonder a long bus ride, a long trip, too.
They came
may
up
factor
last
in.
night, though.
That still may factor in, though. I mean, high school boys, you think they got a great night's sleep at the hotel?
That's true, too.
Yeah, you got about 2 hours.
Turner is the returner, and he finds a slight opening, gets out to the 25-yard line. 8 seconds remain on the clock.
You know, one thing, St. Joe's, one of the reasons, we take a look at the scoring summary, why they play teams like Chardon is because of their inability to schedule teams.
Well, 7 plays, 40 yards on the drive, 15-yard run by Rowland.
But their inability to schedule some teams from Western New York has opened up a new door. And this is a real neat thing to see teams from New York play Ohio or from Pennsylvania.
Sure, crossing over.
Play New York, and I think you feel the same way, Johnny.
Yeah.
Your kids.
It's nice. It's just that you play a little bit different. It's the same basic game, but there's little nuances of what you do
Peck
different.
is sacked, and that should do it for the game. And that was the last play. St. Joe's, they storm the field, comes from behind to knock off Chardon Hilltoppers 27-14.
Where all these kids come from?
They piled in from the end zone, and St. Joe's, Bob O'Connor's team, did what they said they had to do. Proved that they could win without their star, Sandro DeAngelis, and they did it with style coming back in the second half.
Well, I'll tell you, I, for one, John Walsh, was impressed with St. Joe's in the second half. The first half, they didn't look like the number 5 team in this area, the number 1 team going into last week before they were upset. With the second half, whatever adjustments they made, they looked pretty good.
Oh, yeah, they made the exact adjustments they need because they came out. It was a totally different team in that second half.
That's school spirit.
I say so. Let's hope our crew doesn't get mauled down there. We haven't seen that on HGTV in quite a while, not for a regular season game.
No, not for regular season.
You see that at basketball games, maybe, but football games?
Well, once again, your final score here at St. Joe's, the Marauders come from behind to beat Chardon 27-14. Stick around, the postgame show coming up on Adelphia's HGTV Sports.
And we didn't do that until the second half. It was great. The more guys are starting to make their plays and saying he's not there with us, so we gotta win without him.
That's a good win.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to be in the middle of you guys, so if Greg, you can go on this side of me. I'll talk with Greg first, Coach, then I want to talk with you.
Yep, hold on.
It's not on the headset yet, Dave. Yeah. All right. All right. They're going to show that play. I'm going to ask you about that touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one that put you ahead pretty good.
You're up there? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Well, the tale of two halves, and the second half was the better of the two for St. Joe's. And let's go down to Kevin Sylvester on the sidelines.
All right, thanks, Walt. Here with our player of the game, a victorious coach. We'll start with our player of the game, Greg Rowland from St. Joe's, a quarterback and a defensive back. And, boy, a tough game, but you guys really took it to him in the second half.
Yeah, I think first half we played pretty poor, but we pulled together in the second half, and we did a pretty good job. You know, we hit a lot harder. You know, we got off the ball better, and, you know, we just pulled together as a team. You know?
Remember talking to you the other night, and Coach saying you had to pass the football more. Some drop passes hurt you early on, but then some big plays. Capozzi made a big play for you.
Yeah, I give him a lot of credit. You know, he hurt his ankle, got in there, did a heck of a job. You know, I mean, it would have been a lot of different game if we didn't drop the balls, but that's the way things go. You know, but we stuck it out.
Well, let's look at the touchdown you threw to him here. The prior play, you overthrew Butler by a little bit, but you came back for a good throw here.
Yeah, he just. That's one of my favorite plays to run to him, you know. He's usually always open on that, so it was a pretty simple pass. Play before I should have had it. I don't know what I was doing on that, but you know, it felt good when I threw that.
Greg, a big win for the team, too, because I know one of the things you said you wanted to prove you could win without Sandro DeAngelis.
Yeah, he's a key player in our team, you know, and I think a lot of guys had that in the back of their head in the first half, you know. But I think, you know, a couple guys really stepped up, showed some leadership, and we showed that we could do it without him, but once he comes back, we'll be all that much better.
Well, Greg, congratulations on a great victory today.
Thanks.
All right, Greg Rowland, the quarterback for St. Joe's, our player of the game. The head coach, Bob O'Connor, just how you planned it today, right?
Yeah, just the way we drew it up on the blackboard. Chardon, you know, they're a young team, and they're coming on. But the advantage they had us is playing. They start so early in Ohio. They start August 27th with their season. So this is their fifth game, where this is our third game this year, because we had to bye the second week. So... we were lucky we won.
Well, what changed for you in the second half? It looked to me defensively you started attacking their offensive line.
Yeah, I thought we were real soft in the first half. I didn't think we tackled well. That's kind of how we played against Prep. I think we're really learning how to play without Sandro, and I think the second half we did, and the kids really stepped it up and took it to the level where they can play.
You talk about the job Greg Rowland did today, passing the football. He made some big throws, and he also made some big runs, too.
He had a great game offensively. I thought they dropped a lot of balls on him today. I think Greg's one of the premier quarterbacks in Western New York. He's, 6'1", 195 pounds. But I was really impressed with his defensive play. He probably had about 15 tackles in the game. I know in the first half he was coming up from the safety position, and he stopped a lot of long breakaways that I thought were going for touchdowns.
Well, Coach, thank you very much. Congratulations. We'd like to see great comebacks like that here on HGTV.
Well, thanks a lot.
All right, that's victorious Coach Bob O'Connor from St. Joe's. Again, the final score, 27-14. Stick around, still more to come here on the postgame show in Adelphia's HGTV Sports.